Well, we showed you some new video at the top of the hour of a pro-health care reform group mounting a new effort to silence critics of the Democrats' plan. You were about to see that amateur video again, shot outside of a town hall event for Illinois Democrat Jan Schakowsky. Now take a listen to this guy. The guy who filmed this, actually, he shot it, and then when he posted it to the web, he put the words up, word for word, what he heard this guy saying. All right, so you're going to get it all as he saw it. This guy is giving lessons on how to make sure those in attendance do not get the chance to openly question the Democrats' plan.
Yes, civil, but stand up and bluff. Civil, but bluff. So if they stand up and start asking questions, and you're in that area, simply stand up and start. And they'll start chanting "Healthcare now, healthcare now, healthcare now."
So if we stand up, what is that?
It's the idea of keeping the camera away from them, so they can't be seen by the camera. So because before they're yelling, everybody else has got their heads down, cowering at their feet. So the whole idea is simply to stand. If we had banners, we'd hold our signs. So if we have signs, you'll be able to hold up your signs in front of them. The whole idea is to deflect and not confront. So it's the idea. You people, why won't you? Then it's simply stand up. Healthcare now, and until they get frustrated, and then they'll take their cookies and go to bed. So not confront, but it's your meeting. Hold on to your meeting.
Well, Joel Pollack is the Harvard Law School grad who actually shot that amateur video and attended the town hall. He's my guest now. Hi, Joel.
Hi, good morning.
And a hat tip to Gateway Pundit, which I guess is, well, that's how we found it in any event. Joel, I want to ask you, you show up at this town hall. Jan Schakowsky is your representative. You want to make your positions known on the health care reform bill. And then you see this guy who we know works for Health Care for America Now, this group that has been active at these town halls, that is trying to organize members who favor health care reform to essentially silence the critics. And there's really no doubt about it. We had a representative from that group on this show before. What specifically did you see and hear this guy say that caught your attention?
Well, as we were standing outside lining up to enter the building, there were a large number of organizers going back and forth, handing out stickers and telling people what to do. And there were some people who are opposed to the health care bill currently before Congress who took stickers because they were afraid that if they didn't put a sticker on, they wouldn't be called on inside the meeting. So there was an atmosphere of tension there. Even though people were very friendly to each other in line, there were a lot of organizers basically walking around and asking people, which side are you on, rather than actually listening to people's opinions. And
this guy, you know, we heard what he was telling people to do, to drown out the opposition. So if somebody got up and asked a question, that's what he said, somebody who appeared opposed to the reform bill, for the Health Care for America Now people to stand up and drown them out. You know,
that's right. And also there was another organizer
that you took issue with.
Well, the part that bothered me the most is at the end when he says, it's your meeting, hold on to your meeting. And actually, it's our meeting, the people who live in the district. It was our chance to tell Congresswoman Schakowsky how we felt about health care reform. And what HCAN and Organizing for America and the SEIU were doing was making sure that we didn't have that chance, that they got to present their side, and that if we had a question about what was going on, that we were drowned out. And that really made me angry, and in fact, I've seen that anger all across the country. I was traveling this summer on a book tour, and a lot of people are very upset, not just about the health care reform bill, but about the fact that they've been demonized and marginalized and called a mob and everything else simply for stating an opinion and having a question. And a lot of people around me have said, you know what, we're tired of this. We want someone in Washington who will listen to us instead of lecture to us. And so I've actually decided, after my experience on Monday night, that I'm going to run for Congress in the 9th District and represent the people of my district as we try to get ourselves heard in Washington.
Well, Joel, making a bit of an announcement on our show this morning. All the best to you, Joel. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by liberal radio talk show host Nancy Skinner. You can also find her at nancyskinnerlive.com. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Megan.
All right, so you know the headlines. I mean, you had Pelosi and Steny Hoyer coming out of the House and calling these people un-American who protest at these town halls. You have the Democratic National Committee calling them angry mobs, and that's not all. I went through this Democratic National Committee release. They talk about the irrational tone, the militancy of the protesters. Their goal is to disrupt the event as much as possible, and so on and so forth. You know, that videotape begs to differ about exactly who's the organized mob.
Well, you know what? You got to make a huge distinction between these groups and people who are sincerely there to learn what this is and ask questions. There are plenty of those town halls going on. Last night we had one in my district, and everything went fine. You did have the guys outside with the Obama signs, with the Hitler signs. I think what this video was, and I don't know this group, but a response to those people who showed up at town halls and screamed at their congressperson so that they could not even answer questions. And so this is like tit for tat. But these are they have become freak shows, Megan. And what these Congress people have to realize is if you have 200 people, because when you have two sides screaming at each other and nobody can have a debate, it's useless. And what the Congress people need to know is that those are 200 people in those town halls. A congressional district is about 600,000 people. Those are the people that you need to talk to. And the confusion, the death panels, the myths, the distortions, the angry mobs are not helping to having a reasoned debate about how we come together.
People. You know, you got to hold the town hall. You hear what they say at the town hall, and then you look at the polls to see if the polls back up what you're hearing, which clearly here they do. The polls are against the health care reform bills coming out of the House overwhelmingly, Nancy. So I mean, your theory is questionable. But wait, let me ask my question, because you say that this is just an effort to contrast those who are making a ruckus at these town halls. That's not what he says. This guy, we've confirmed, he works for Healthcare for America Now. This guy says, and I quote, "If they stand up and ask a question, you start chanting until they get frustrated."
Okay. Well, that's wrong. That is wrong. And you found one guy. I think what they're trying to do is, if somebody starts disrupting, then this is your counter to it. If he said ask a question, that's clearly wrong, Megan. But one guy saying one stupid thing does not distract from the larger thing. Back to your question on the polls that people don't want it. I saw a poll, Indiana University, 55% of Republicans now believe that elderly people will have to submit in writing how and when they're going to die. Now, that 55% of Republicans believe this means that the information flow has been so distorted by all these people who are willfully doing this that these town halls have not been productive in my view.
There's no question that there is some misinformation out there, and that some of it has come from folks at the town halls, but a lot of it is not misinformation, and people just have genuine concerns about their health care. And I just want to set the record straight about this group, Nancy, because it's not just this one guy. We had one of the representatives from this group on this air, and he admitted that they have been trying to coordinate with Democratic members of Congress to, quote, provide cover with them at the town halls. And their own memo from this Healthcare for America Now, going out to their people, say, make sure that the right messages don't get drowned out by the protesters, to shoot down the irrational tone and the militancy of those who oppose, that you have to bring enough people to drown them out. It's not just that one guy. It is a coordinated effort.
This was a response to the very early town halls where Congress people couldn't even talk because people were going out and screaming and yelling at them. So there was a tit-for-tat response. None of that is correct. Everybody should be able to ask questions.
Monday. This guy went at Jan Schakowsky's town hall Monday.
You found one group and one guy, and this went on all month, all August. You had AstroTurfs, you had insurance companies organizing all these groups to go to all these town halls. Now you found someone on the other side. So does that make this a reasoned
on what you
debate
say, AstroTurf,
about a
you
very
say the insurance
important
company? Let me ask you, what do you base it on? You say it's all AstroTurf, it's the insurance companies behind it. Take a look at. I want you to look at this clip. You tell me whether this is AstroTurf and insurance company people. Watch it.
What are your ideas for making sure that the private industry doesn't go away?
I also want you to guarantee me that my quality patient care is not going to be affected.
Why don't you put the pressure against the other insurance companies to provide better insurance?
You say President Obama will not allow the health care plan to add any deficit, and yet the initial cost is over $1 trillion for a down payment. Who is going to pay for this bill?
I got 20 seconds before the break. I give you the last word, Nancy.
Well, they asked their questions. They were able to ask their questions, and their Congress people should answer those. And we should, not focus simply on these events because, as I said, there's 600,000 people. This is the issue. This is about competition.
Got it.
And this is about our long-term deficit.
Gotta
and let's
go.
all have a more reasoned debate,
Hard break,
Megan.
Nancy Skinner. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Bet.